What's going on, everybody? This is Coach Reg, aka Mr. Intensity, and my job is to invoke thought and help awaken the world's consciousness one person at a time. I'm sure you're guessing by my thumbnail that probably got you on this video what I mean by roadkill being better than Thanksgiving dinner. Well, I will explain in this video that I'm going to post on YouTube very shortly. But I want you to use your right side of your brain and think about everybody you've ever known that ever had any disease, cancer, sickness, some kind of unexplainable thing that came out of nowhere. And then now I want you to think about how they ate. What did they eat? How was their diet? And I want you to also think, could it be the food that they're eating? Could it be the food that they're eating? Now, in my previous video, you kind of were awakened to some things. And it kind of shocked you a little bit. It shocked me when I found out about it because I kept on digging and I'm digging deeper. And I want to kind of go into the guts of it in my next video, but this is kind of like the prequel to my next video that I'm putting up. I'm very busy today, so I'm not able to sit down and read the research off that I did, but I will tell you some things that I know offhand and about the milk, about how they get the milk from the cow, how they get so much milk from the cow and the way they do it and what they put into it. And I want you to use the right side of your brain. You have two minds. I want you to actually combine them today. You have two minds. You have a left side of your brain, which is the analytical mind, the mind that does the math, the mind that figures things out. And then you have your right side of your brain. It's the creative side, the brain that you kind of see through things and you kind of, it helps you have a deeper understanding of things. I want you to use that part of your brain to kind of figure out what I'm saying and kind of understand what I'm talking about when I say roadkill is better than Thanksgiving dinner. Now, what I left off with a little bit, I kind of delved into a little bit, was the bovine growth hormone from a cow. Now, the way they get the bovine growth hormone, a cow actually activates this hormone when they're pumping milk. When a cow is pumping milk, they're activating the bovine growth hormone. Now, what they do with the cow while it's pumping milk is they actually extract it. They take a needle and they find where the hormone comes and they extract it from the cow. And then they put their little cocktail on the hormone. They put their little ingredients of their own making inside the hormone. And then they put it back into the cow, right? To make the cow pump more milk than it's actually supposed to. So let me help you out a little bit. Imagine a woman is breastfeeding and she's done pumping, she's done breastfeeding, and then somebody injects something in her with their own little twist on it, and then they make her breastfeed. They force breastfeed her. They force her to pump her own milk. That is not actually, what she's supposed to do. If her body's out of milk, what's going to happen after that? Well, when a cow is out of milk and they're forcing all this milk and they're draining the cow literally, it creates a pus that comes out of the teat of the cow. All right. And they don't take this pus out. They mix it in, right? They mix it in with the milk. And you don't know they're mixing it in. They just mix it in. And so you don't taste the pus. They put more chemicals in it to kind of hide what they're already putting in it, along with their diluted, well, not the diluted, but their cocktail on the bovine growth hormone. And then you take it to the market and then you consume it. Now, also what they do with the cow, because it's a lot of stress on the cow right now. The cows, they get depressed, they get stressed. They're in like these big farms where they're all packed in a house, like a barn or whatever, a plant together. And when they're all together, the chickens and the cows and the pigs, it breeds disease. And then they have to put them in the truck, take them to the processing plant, kill them, and they have to give them drugs in order for them to make it there alive. And in some cases, a lot of cases, they don't make it there alive, and then they have to give them some more drugs and put them in the meat to make sure the meat can make it all the way to the supermarket. And then you think you got some fresh meat, but you really didn't get any fresh meat because the meat was probably dead for over a couple of weeks, and you thought the expiration date was like a week later or whatever, but it's really been dead for like 3 weeks. And they put a bunch of chemicals in the meat to make you think that it's actually good, to improve the shelf life on the food. So that's what you're eating, right? So when I say roadkill is better than what you're eating, well, knowing now from my previous video that every animal that is sold in a store or a market that has feet, fins, or feathers has to have hormones or antibiotics, subclinical antibiotics in it. Being that that's the case, that's the truth, that's real fact, that's been proven pretty much by Codex Alimentarius, who run the standards for our meat and things of that nature. Well, that means that well, let's think about it. If you kill a deer who's been living in the wild, eating all this natural green on the ground and the seeds, they say that's bad for you. They say that's harmful for you. If that deer gets hit by a car, well, the deer's not really unhealthy, it's just dead. And if you clean that meat and you eat it, you're actually eating meat that's untarnished by Codex Alimentarius, which means that your Thanksgiving dinner that's full of drugs, that's full of GMOs, that's full of chemicals, that's full of bovine growth hormone, that's full of pus, is actually unhealthier than eating the deer that got killed on the side of the road. Ain't that crazy? So I'm not asking you to do this. You probably ain't gonna do this, but that's the only true way you can eat meat, is if you actually kill it yourself and it's been alive, you know, in the wild for years, untouched, untarnished by the Codex Alimentarius people, and the people who, you know, Codex Alimentarius controls, the corporations who own the meat and things of that nature. Okay, now back to the bovine growth hormone. Now back to that, you're consuming it. Now they have said that when you consume this stuff can cause impotence, it can cause tumors. You're walking around itching with rashes and you think that, you know, it's something that you just got, or you know, you're pretty much, you got to get it from something that's going around. You know, when they always say something is going around, that's something that's going around in the food. You know that, right? That could have been a disease that is in the food, and everybody just ate the same food and it went around because maybe the same farm or plant has been selling the same food or meat in the same particular